bargain. Gina sat in her cramped apartment, the cursor blinking on the rejection email she had read too many times. "We regret to inform you." The words blurred. 5 years. 5 years of pouring her soul into a novel that no one wanted. She was about to shut her laptop when she noticed the email. Subject: an offer you can't refuse. It was from a company she had never heard of, the Editor's Circle. The email was brief. "Your manuscript has potential. Let us make it unforgettable. Meet us at 8 p.m., 404 Charlotte Avenue." There was no website, no contact number, just the signature, E. Malmstrom, Senior Editor. Gina hesitated. Then she grabbed her coat. Charlotte Avenue was nearly abandoned, the kind of street that looked normal until you realized none of the buildings had windows. 404 was the worst of them, a brownstone squeezed between two sleek offices, its door cracked open like it had been expecting her. Inside, the room smelled of aged paper and something sour beneath it, like rotting ink. A single desk lamp cast eerie shadows across the figure seated in an old leather chair. "Gina," the man greeted her, his voice like a well-worn page, soft, but layered with something ancient. She swallowed. "You're Malmstrom?" He nodded, gesturing for her to sit. A manuscript lay between them, her manuscript, but the title had changed. The Descent. She hadn't called it that. "We love your work," Malmstrom said, "but it needs refining before we can publish." Gina flipped through the pages, her pulse quickening. It was still her book, until it wasn't. Characters had shifted names. Their desires had darkened. The hopeful arc she'd built was gone, replaced with something else. In this version, the protagonist, a struggling writer, didn't achieve success. She unraveled. She lost herself in her own words. "This isn't what I wrote," she whispered. "It's what it needs to be." Malmstrom leaned forward, eyes glinting. "Greatness demands truth, and truth is never clean." Gina hesitated, fingers trembling over the ink-black contract at the end of the manuscript. "What's the catch?" Malmstrom smiled. "Nothing really. Just your willingness to change the manuscript into something the people want." The air in the room grew heavy, pressing against her skin. Her dreams had always felt like an uphill battle, each rejection a wound. Now, here was a chance. Her hand hovered over the pen, and she signed. The book was a masterpiece. Critics called it a genre-defining work. Readers were obsessed. They dissected every passage, debated every character. But Gina had stopped celebrating, because things were missing. First, it was small, a memory she couldn't quite recall, a conversation that felt like déjà vu. Then it got worse. Entire moments of her life vanished. She would wake up with days missing, her reflection thinner, her eyes sunken. The worst part was the manuscript. It kept changing. It wasn't her book at all. Passages she had never written appeared in the pages, and the protagonist, who had once only resembled her in spirit, was now living her life exactly. Then the letters came, slipped under her door, written in her own handwriting. You should have read the fine print. Lena tried to burn the book. The flames wouldn't take. She deleted the manuscript from her computer. It reappeared. She tried to stop writing, but each morning she woke up at her desk, pages filled with words she didn't remember writing. And then the final chapter appeared. She skimmed it, her breath hitching. The protagonist, she, would be consumed by her own story. Her body would remain, but her mind, herself, would belong to the book. to the people who always demanded more. A knock at the door. She turned. Malmström stood there, the same patient smile on his face. Ready for your sequel? Her computer screen flashed and the words on it started to shift. Lena felt something pulling. And then, nothing.